we're seeing this jump right now, guys, in popularity of cryptocurrencies, and ironically, it is coinciding with a lot of news from the financial world that, you know, this fiat currency system is there's a lot of leaks in the dam, and in fact, there's some might say there's gushing fountains that are coming out of the dam right now, and it could break at any moment, literally. And it's not ironic that it's coinciding with this jump in consciousness, like of the collective consciousness, you know, in cryptocurrencies, you know, and where do you guys see this going in terms of the adaptation worldwide, and as it correlates with the fall of the Western, you know, monetary system?
You know, it's a really difficult question to predict the future, you know, and there's so many different variables that are going to come into play with anything that happens in this world, because there's so many people, whether you're on the internet or in person, that are trying to reach an ideal of consensus, right? On ideas of what they want to see in the world. And with cryptocurrency in general, something that we can see is I'll just give an example of it. You know, you take an arcade, right? You go into an arcade and you want to play different games in the arcade, and you can relate these arcade games to different services that people across the world can offer. Just like Latium, like you can put up a a gig, and someone on the other side of the world can get hired for that gig and do something and get paid. So you go into the arcade and you choose the game that you want to play, right? And you put your coins into that game, and you get the amount of time that allocates to playing that arcade game. So take the Golem network coin, right? GNT coin. And what they're doing is they're using coins to pay for supercomputing time. So say you're an organization, a Fortune 500 company that has to decipher these ledgers that have all this information on it. And the server space and the processor you're using just can't compute the amount of information you need. So that company can go to Golem and pay in Golem network tokens and receive supercomputing ability. So that to me, that's what cryptocurrency is. It's making the world an arcade game, and you can choose which arcade game you want to play.
Right? Yeah, I like that.
It sounds funny, but seriously, it's a relatable thing, because these coins, you think about it, it's currency. Why is it called a coin? You don't have a coin. I don't see a physical coin, you know, and that's what throws a lot of people off at first. And a lot of people don't even know that there are thousands of coins. They just hear, oh, the Bitcoin, it's going to do this and that, and you know, it's going to crash. It's a bubble. But what really got me hooked on this whole movement is that these coins can represent such a powerful project, such an incredible movement of people towards, for example, not to get too technical, but one of these coins, Power Ledger, right? Yeah. It's going to help change the way that energy is consumed, and you know, you can make profit off of your own energy that you're not using. You know, rewards for people using solar and wind, electric types of energy. That's a movement that this world needs, and that's a movement that cryptocurrency is bringing in a big way.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You know, you were talking, Chris, just a minute ago about this idea of rewarding the people who are managing the transactions. Correct? Isn't that in a sense how that works? And isn't that what Bitcoin mining is? Am I saying that correctly? And can maybe you, if I'm not, then you know.
So personally, I don't have any experience with mining, and I think that Andrew could definitely answer that.
Andrew, you're the man for that.
Yeah, it's basically your computer. You got a computer that's like a supercomputer. You know, people that play video games, they spend like thousands of dollars on a computer, so it's really fast. All right, so you take one of their computers times 10, and that's what you need to mine. And you basically set it up. You find out what token you want, like what network you want to be on, because you have to decide what kind of computing you're going to do. So it gets ridiculous. It gets really deep. We just shouldn't go that deep with these guys. Let's talk about what it does, what your computer is doing. It's solving equations, mathematical equations. The blockchain is a public ledger. Every time something's posted on there, every single node on the network, a node being your computer. If you're mining, your computer is its own server. They call it a node. And it runs the blockchain, and it verifies transactions. And every time you verify a transaction by solving these really complex equations with using this algorithm, the algorithm changes. If they want to make Bitcoin, harder to mine or easier to mine, they can change the algorithm of it.
Who's they? Who's they?
Everybody, the entire network, all the nodes have to agree that we're going to change these rules to start doing this. So that's what's cool about it. It's a form of direct democracy. It's the first form of direct democracy that we're seeing on the planet.
And if you look at different situations that have occurred with the Bitcoin network, like you take the Bitcoin Cash fork, the Bitcoin Gold fork, and the Segwit X2 fork that were going to happen. These are, examples of consensus not being reached, where there was a part of the network that said, you know what, we don't like these rules. We don't like the developers of this coin. We're going to renegade and make our own coin. So with what Andrew's talking about, I think the thing that's so powerful about just the crypto space is it opens up this new industry of all these opportunities for people to have an ability to put their expertise and their skills into things they like. If you're good at coding and mining and setting up GPU units, like that's something that you want to get into and verify transactions on the coin that you support or whatever coins you support. Or if you're someone that just wants to get other people interested in the space and helping them achieve some financial freedom, I think you're just sitting on the precipice of an incredibly exciting mountain to climb.
Yeah, and it will be really fascinating to watch as people, find more security in the crypto technologies in the near future, and especially as events unfold with the current economic system, the centralized banking system, and that they're on a road headed for a cliff right now, and it's going to be interesting to see how they get out of it. And some people talk about how they're going to go to their own digital currency. And so, I guess one of the threats currently then is that governments all around the world will just crack down on it. Is that one of the? How worried are you guys about it?
Can't happen.
So, if I may punch in real quick, I think this is a good opportunity to shout out, the black sheep in these situations, people that don't necessarily agree with cryptocurrency that are in our generation. And I think that they have a really important role to play in even the mass adoption of cryptocurrency. Is these people exist in a very spiritual and earth-based mentality with their spirituality, with their rituals and their practices in this world. And those people are looking in every way to exit the matrix as well. And they're choosing a different route to exit the matrix. And I think in our society right now, we just have to be less concerned with what the cabal or whatever you want to put them in parentheses are doing, and more concerned with just achieving our form of freedom from that system and creating other systems that make those obsolete,
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah, it is a balance, like how much of your energy do you focus on this old model and as it is dying, and the importance of helping others wake up to it, because some people are still under the illusion that it's a working model, and when there's an element of all of us that is helping warn each other. That's why we're doing these YouTube channels, and people are sharing their wisdoms. In a way, it's to give to the greater good, and to also help people wake up and realize that we are headed for a cliff in a way. And there's a way that if you get smart to it, you can avoid you can avoid a lot of pain in your future, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be really. So let me ask you though. I mean, I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you in terms of the focus on the solution. But is there a threat to, Bitcoin is owned by a small group of people in terms of let me rephrase that. A high percentage of Bitcoin is owned by a small percentage of people. And what do you guys say to the threat of that scenario in all currencies? Or is it really can it only happen in a few?
Well, first of all, if you're hoarding cryptocurrency, the value just goes down dramatically. It's one of the biggest features to give value of a cryptocurrency is its transaction velocity. So if you're just hoarding this stuff and it sits there, the value just goes gone. So you lose your money. Why would you sit on it? Dude, they thought of everything, man. I'm telling you, this is cryptocurrency, man. They call it crypto because it's like, can't be fucked with. You know what I'm saying?
I love you, dude.
Dude, another thing is to realize, like, who the fuck cares, man? Like who really gives a shit? Like, we're not
make a new currency.
We're not here to stack Bitcoin. I didn't come here to be a cryptocurrency millionaire. I was here to do something a lot greater than that. And I think everybody on the planet is here to do something a lot greater than that. And these are just tools. These are systems that are in place now. And if they fall apart in 20 years, like, shit, I don't want to be in this space at that point anyway. So,
but I will be on the cutting edge of the next shit.
Yeah,
tell you that right now.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, and so I guess then the purpose of this show is to help others get knowledge about it. And if this movement gets big enough, there's really nothing they can do. Correct? I mean, it just ultimately the irony about any sort of controller slave scenario is that the slaves outnumber them by so much. It's just not even funny, it's just such an astronomical amount on our team in a way. And if we can see the benefits, and for guys like you that are helping others see the potential that this can create for us, because one of the biggest things that I see in the world that's causing so much stress is the financial pressures that so many people are under, and ultimately when you're living in poverty consciousness, science has proven that parts of your brain literally shut down, and that cripples you. And it's honestly, all crime is really economic driven. And so we could literally save the world in a way if we can finally rebalance the scale, and it's in need of it.
This is really underway right now, dude. Like, I know that a good friend of mine sent me an article, David Wilcox, quarterly disclosures. And if you take the amount of disclosure that's happening in so many different industries right now, across the board, we are having a paradigm shift in entertainment, in war, in finance, in medicine, pharmaceuticals, in education. And, as you see it, another brick in the wall, it always comes back to Floyd, always comes back to music. I feel like our leaders in entertainment that are actually really doing these things are really powerful. And I think that they're starting to get realigned with their origins of being from the stars and being a part of whether it's a galactic council or whatever it may be, where there's a lot of ascended masters here in all these communities, and they're just holding incredible space for a lot of people to get free.
Yeah, you created you really painted a beautiful vision of what's taking place right now, and all the interviews I do, and we cover a real vast array of topics, from you name it. And, as you start getting in touch with all these people who are, have their expertise in certain parts of the world, and you start really seeing commonalities, and that there's something going on in every regard to this planet, and the consciousness is rising in a way and that's why we can say that we are headed towards a golden age. I really believe it, and I think you guys see it as well. And cryptocurrency is one of the tools that is going to help us get there. And I really appreciate you guys coming on today. I want to have you guys back again so we can, continue this conversation.
We got we do have a chance to say one thing to anybody that's out there thinking about getting involved in cryptocurrency, like one suggestion.
Go for it.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, dude, you don't have to buy the stuff. Like if you don't have any money, if it's hard for you to just throw $20 at Bitcoin, I bought $10 worth of Bitcoin in 2015, and I left it in an account that I couldn't access for a long time. I finally got Coinbase to give me my access, and it was worth almost $800. $10 to $800. You can earn cryptocurrency. There's a lot of ways to do it, and I mean, you can just go on Craigslist and say, you know, people are on Craigslist saying, I want to buy stuff for my Bitcoin. They're trying to find ways to spend it in the real world because they don't want to convert it to cash. So, I mean, if you don't want to risk it, or you can't afford to do it, or you can't stop drinking 10 cups of coffee a day so you can afford to get involved, then just earn stuff. You can go, but don't take off a day of work to go do a job for cryptocurrency. Do it in your spare time. So that's the one thing I would say, like, anybody can get involved. And I swear to God, if you get involved right now, you're going to make 10 times whatever you invest, like within 6 months.
Chris, John, where can people go to start their crypto dreams and make them coming true? Where do you start? Where do you buy this stuff?
Well, there's, you know, the most basic I can think of is Coinbase. You go to coinbase.com and you can change your fiat or US dollars or whatever dollars into Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum, and Bitcoin Cash. So,
okay.
But I would say, just before you go ahead and buy a cryptocurrency because of the price or the fluctuation or whatever, or the hype, definitely do a lot of research. YouTube is great right now. You are doing an incredible job. Thank you so much for bringing us out here. There's many channels out there that are spreading a lot of knowledge. And if you want to invest in something that is, you know, formidable for the future, there are many projects out there that are doing a lot of good. So just do research first before you go ahead and jump in, you know?
And don't spend anything. Like if you have money set aside for rent that's due in 30 days, don't put that in there and try to get back out. It doesn't work. All right. So only money that you don't need right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I think given the volatility of any new thing, you know, you better be in it for the long haul. You know, even though there are short-term possibilities there, I think overall, like you guys have painted the picture, and this is the thing that's here to stay. I don't think crypto's going anywhere.
Agreed with that.
Yeah. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, man. Thanks.
Thank you so much,
This is awesome. I mean, seriously, I really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
I want to talk about crypto all day.
We'll do it again, man. We'll do it again. We'll help paint the picture. I mean, really, what I want to get out of these roundtables is helping, you know, of course, everything is everyone's individual perspective, but we really want to help create, you know, help paint a picture of these different things that are going on in the world that maybe not everyone has all the time in the world to dive down every rabbit hole. But there's some people who do have certain levels of expertise that can help us, you know, connect dots. And that's what we're trying to do here.
Find me on Facebook. I got groups where I'm literally doing support, walking people through using cryptocurrency sites and platforms that are out there running right now, like utility coins, you know. So
anyone also on Facebook from the greater Phoenix, Arizona, you know, West Coast area, Phoenix Love Tribe cryptocurrency. There's a lot of folks on that page and sharing a lot of information, and it's cool because you're sharing it with the people in your local community and giving opportunities to get more knowledgeable. Also on the 11th at Gangplank in Chandler, anyone that's in the Phoenix area, Manny Chavez is going to be running Understanding Bitcoin and Cryptocurrency group at Gangplank. So if you want to get out there and meet some other folks in the community that are interacting with this space, check it out.
Beautiful. Real action on the ground in your local neighborhood. They always say, think global, act local, and you guys are doing it. Thank you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you.
yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.